Hey everybody, welcome to this very special episode of Showtime with Johnny Mack. Couple things to address today. First off, my comments on Greg Wells just a couple days ago. I have confirmation he has heard it by a very close friend of both of ours who served with us at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. He has heard it. He refuses to comment on it. So therefore, I am going to pull a Drake. I'm going to go back to back. I'm going in for the kill. Because apparently he doesn't think I'm relevant enough to respond to. But where I'm from, that's called being a coward. When somebody uses the words I used to describe you as a man and I completely emasculate you, you have to respond or your man card gets pulled. I pulled it. I knocked you out. I took your man card out of your pocket. I ripped it up, burnt it, spit on it, stomped on it, and then I walked away. But then I got infuriated. I got pissed off because he refused to comment. He was too chicken shit to comment back. So I'm going in for the kill today. I'm going back to back. Where I come from, and I just said this, where I come from, you must respond to something like that in some form or fashion. And for him not to, just shows how cowardice he is and how much of a keyboard warrior he is while he goes to school on Uncle Sam's dime. And yeah, he did join the army. He did serve. But did he really earn it? I don't think so. Somebody who cries over a PT test, somebody who curls up in the fetal position, holds his little nutsack and cries like a bitch over a PT test, you didn't earn it. And you know, I was the first one to say congratulations when he got into college. I really was, because he's not just going to a community college. He's going to an actual university. And I was real proud of him. But now he could just, you know, he could go choke on a donkey's cock, as far as I'm concerned. Him and the rest of the Black Lives Matter movement. As far as I'm concerned, if you have to tell somebody that a black life matters over a white life, or a brown life, or a purple life, and that's not a racial mark for anybody who's so dark they are purple. It's just a color that came to my mind. I can also say yellow. That's not a discrimination against Asians. So I don't want anybody out there in the BLM community or terror group, because that's what it really is. It's a terrorist group who goes around protesting and vandalizing instead of getting their asses up and going to work. Instead, they would rather have taxpayers like me and Bruce and my wife and my dad and my stepmom and so on and so forth pay for their way of living. They're a terrorist organization. If you go around and you vandalize things and you say, oh, this is what we are, this is our movement, and you're not doing it peacefully, and you're destroying things, you are a domestic terror group. Just like the KKK is a domestic terror group. It's on the terror watch list. I mean, it's proven. It's right there. It's black and white. Go look it up. Go read it. Go steal McDonald's Wi-Fi and read it if you don't believe me. So therefore, and from what I hear and what I read, Putin over in Russia, he put Black Lives Matter on the terror watch list, and Putin doesn't fuck around. Y'all saw what he did to those raghead motherfuckers over there. When they shot at them, he went and blew them the fuck up. So I just can't believe that a guy has the balls and the nerve to post something about the Dallas Police Department that had nothing to do with what happened in Minnesota and in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But he can't respond to somebody he personally knows. He can't get in contact with me through Facebook, through Twitter, YouTube, Skype, a phone call, a text message. I'm not a hard person to find. I'm out there every day. Every single day I'm probably the easiest person doing podcasts to get a hold of. And I'm not even a professional podcaster. That's a newsflash. And that's probably what he did when he heard me talk. He curled up in the fetal position, grabbed his little nutsack, sucked his thumb, cried about how so unjust because he's a black guy in America, and then he said, no, I'm not going to respond. No. Well, You threw the jabs. I knocked your ass out, stomped on your man card, and now I'm going, now I've went in for the kill. I've killed you. It's over. I'm not going to discuss you anymore. You're irrelevant in my life. You're irrelevant as a veteran. And as far as if it was up to me, your name would be scratched from that list up there in Virginia, where you can go as a veteran and have your name carved into this plaque like Craig Morgan did, the country singer. And just like I have done, I've put my name in the database. As far as I'm concerned, you could be scratched off because you're just, like I said, you're a waste of God's talent. That's it. I'm going to leave it at that. You're a waste of space, a waste of skin, and you're a waste of God's talent. So you go curl up in the fetal position, Greg Wells, suck your thumb, and just be the little bitch that you are. Meanwhile, I'll get up and go to work, unlike some people. Now that we got that taken care of, on to more pressing news. My wife and I are moving. We're moving to Tyler. We found somebody to take over the lease on our apartment. Just waiting to get the phone call that she's been approved. Should get it any day now. Today, tomorrow, by the end of this week, we should know something. I am fed up with this apartment. With this, and I'm not going to speak badly on the owners of the apartment, Bell Properties, because they could be a good business. They could be. I don't know. I've never met their corporate staff, but your staff here, Bell Partners, and I hope somebody in your staff listens to this and hears it and gets it to you. Your staff is a reflection of your business, just like any other business. Just like I'm a reflection of this. I am the host. I'm the face of Showtime. Jacob is behind the scenes. My wife is behind the scenes. I do some behind the scenes work, but I am the face of this podcast. Okay, so what I do and say reflects this podcast, whether people want to listen to it or not. And I thank everybody that listens to it. So when you've got a staff that is rude, when you've got a staff that is a blatant liar, especially a management staff at that reflects poorly on you as a business, as a company. And I'm going to tell you exactly what your staff did. Last month, okay, June 20th, my wife and I put our 60-day notice in to move out of this apartment complex. Okay, they said, okay, that's fine. Since you're breaking your lease, you got to pay this, this, and this, or you can find somebody to take over your lease. You won't have to pay anything except to get your names taken off the lease, which is $25 a person. So $50 total. Hey, no problem. I'll find somebody. We can do that. We'll find somebody to take the lease over. There's got to be somebody who doesn't want to pay a deposit. So we go through the process of finding somebody. We find, a couple people come over. They flake out. They say no for whatever reason. And so finally, the girl above us, Rachel, she's a teacher. She's a cool girl. Rachel says, hey, my friend, who's also a teacher, is looking for a new apartment. She doesn't have a whole lot of money, so she can't afford, the deposit and all of that extra stuff. I say, hey, no problem. Tell her to come look at our apartment. We'll show her the apartment. We'll go over the specifics with her. No problem. So we showed her the apartment. She likes it. It's it's right next to her friend. They're good friends. So she said, yeah, I'll do it. I'll take over your lease. Okay. We went up to the office. Me and Heather. We went to the office. That's the girl's name, Heather. We went to the office, and she turns in her application. She pays the $55. And then the lady at the desk says, okay, it's going to be $100 for you and your wife. I said, why is it $100? I was told it was $50, $25 a person. She said, 2 days ago we upped our rates to get your name taken off the lease. I said, well, I've already put my 60-day notice in. This has been in progress for a month now. I don't agree with that. And we argue back and forth about how I say it's unfair, it's unacceptable. And she just keeps repeating herself. And I say, well, I've already talked to your manager. I want to talk to her again because I don't think this is right. She goes back there. I hear them talk a little trash about me, but fuck them. I don't care. They're not getting another dime out of me or my wife. And, I apologize to Heather. I tell her, look, I'm not trying to be rude or nothing. But we've already been told one thing, and this is unacceptable. It's every time we come into this office, it's something new that they're just trying to get money out of you for. And she said, oh, no worries, I would do the same thing. So she understood where I was coming from. About 5 minutes later, like I said, the manager comes out, and she says, unfortunately, Mr. McAnally, we did up our rates 2 days ago, so it's going to be and right then I stopped her. I said, no, ma'am. I talked to you personally, the manager here. You're over this property. This property is your responsibility. I said, I talked to you personally, and you told me $50, $25 a person, $50 total. I said, and I've already put my 60-day notice in, so I get it. You changed the policy. We change our policy at Kohl's, but we give a certain time frame for people who didn't get the memo. By the way, the apartment complex never sent out an email stating that they were going to up these rates. They'll send you an email about trash being put outside, about dog shit that nobody picks up, or taking your dog to the pool at night, but they won't email you when it comes to money. So, and I'm not the only one doing this. There's 4 or 5 other people that I know of that are having somebody take their lease over. So I'm not the only one this is happening to, but I damn sure I'm gonna fight this. And so I said, no, you told me $50, $25 a person. I'm not paying any more than that, especially since my 60-day notice has already been put in. We've been doing all the work to find a roommate, or a person to take our lease over. This is unacceptable. And she says, Mr. McAnally, I'm not going to argue with you. And again, I stopped her and I said, you're damn right you're not. I said, this is completely unacceptable. Every time I come in this office, it's something new. You're always trying to do something else. I said, we're going to stick to what we agreed on. What you told me, $50 total, $25 a person. I'm not paying more than that. That's unacceptable. And, we argued back and forth, and she kept reiterating that they changed the policy, and I kept reiterating that that's not right. I've already put my 60-day notice in, and that we were told 25, and we haven't received emails. Nobody's told us anything. And they know we want to move out of here. They've known for a month now. Finally, she said, sir, I'm not going to argue with you. I said, there's no argument here. You're wrong, and you know it. I've already put my 60-day notice in. You're going to get $50, and I'm not paying you a penny more. And I could tell she was getting frustrated, so she said, you know what, to hell with it. Honor the $25. So, and then she walked outside, had to catch her breath, but I could care less. I'm not going to be bullied by somebody who thinks they can control every little thing. I'm not going to be pushed around. I'm not that type of person. If you tell me something, I'm going to do that, or I'm going to abide by that. And if you're going to change the policy, you need to send out a memo. Because like I said, I'm not the only one moving out of here, so I'm not the only one who's going to fight it. I might be the only one who fights it, but, it's not right for them to do that. And just to try to get money out of you. And, I talked to Bruce last night. And this all involves this apartment complex. I talked to Bruce last night, and they're not going to renew his lease for his apartment. Bruce has lived here for 5 years, right? Paid his rent on time every month. Never given him any problems, nothing. And Bruce is an old man. Bruce is 75 years old. Okay, he's an old man, and he's been living without AC for a week now. And that's unacceptable. I'm sorry. I would sue this apartment complex. They've been in his apartment. They said they fixed it. They didn't fix it. I went in there, and his apartment is just blazing balls hot. I mean, it's hotter than the devil's red dick, okay? It is hot. And there's no reason he should sit in there and just stew in his own sweat and his own juices. That's unacceptable. But anyway, they said they're not going to renew his lease in December because they're remodeling all the apartments. And Bruce said the same thing I said. He said to hell with them. He's already been looking at other apartments, and he's been looking around the Lindale area. And I mean, if he moves over to the Lindale area, I'll gladly take off work and help him move. Because I mean, these people here, they're so fucking stupid. They're greedy, and it's legal robbery, is what it is. And that's just unacceptable that a company can do this. And if you want people to live here, why are you trying to fuck them over? I don't understand that. Why can't you be a moral, ethical company and still make money? It's possible. Try it. You might start a new trend. Who knows? You might make even more money, you greedy sons of bitches. You're going to fuck over a 75-year-old man who hasn't had AC for a week? A veteran, a Vietnam veteran, you're going to fuck him over, even though he's paid you rent. As a matter of fact, Bruce pays his rent a month in advance. And he's been doing it for 5 years. He's never given y'all any problems. And y'all want to fuck him over? That's just another reason I'm sick of this place. A funny story, though. Me and, I take Cooper to the pool at nights. And, the courtesy officer, whatever, I don't know what the fuck he does. He ain't stopped nobody from breaking in. He ain't stopped nobody from breaking into cars or apartments. But the courtesy officer kicked me and Cooper out of the pool the other night. That perverted old man who sits on his balcony, smokes cigarettes, and watches young girls in bikinis. He can't seem to mind his own fucking business either. He called the cops. This is about midnight. And me and Cooper, we're not making no loud noises. I mean, yeah, Cooper's running and he'll jump and splash in the pool, but it ain't like he's out there barking and I'm hooting and hollering, And so this cop comes up, and I'm thinking it's just a regular person coming out there to smoke a cigarette or smoke a joint or drink some beer or whatever. I mean, people do that, at the pools at night. But it was the rent-a-cop, or he's not a rent-a-cop, he's a real cop, but he was off duty. And he was just asking me some stupid questions. He asked me, for one, if I lived here. Well, yeah, obviously I fucking live here. He asked me, my name. I told him my name. He asked if I'm from here. I said, no, I'm from Palestine, He said, oh, I've never seen you here before. I said, well, lived here for 2 years almost. I come to the pool almost every night during the summer. And, I work during the day. I lied to him, told him I work 15-hour days, and we both know that's bullshit. Me and you, between me and you, the listener, that's bullshit, because Coles ain't giving me but 20 fucking hours a week, which is ridiculous. But, anyways, he asked me if I'm sure I'm from the Palestine area, and I said, yeah. I think I would know where I'm from. Dumb fuck. I didn't say that. I was thinking it, though. But anyways, and then he asked me if that's my dog. Well, obviously, that's my fucking dog. I got a leash. You think I just carry around a leash? Huh? You think I just swim with random stray dogs? What the fuck is wrong with you? Is this how you train your police officers, Louisville? Fucking idiots. Like that fucking carrot top ginger bastard who accused me of stealing a cell phone. I got my own cell phone. I got an extra cell phone on top of my wife's wardrobe. I don't need that fucking piece of shit phone that girl probably lost while she was drunk getting gangbanged. Trashy. Bitch don't even live here. How's her phone get over here? Ridiculous. Anyway. So the cop asked me some stupid questions. And then he said, dogs aren't allowed. And I was like, yeah, I work during the day, whatever. But the funny part is, Cooper would not get out of the pool. He started whining when I pulled him out of the pool. I had to go in and get him out of the pool. And then the cop, I hope he felt like a jackass for kicking me and Cooper out of the pool for no reason. But lots going on. Hey, I gotta say this real quick. I'm selling my paintings, my beautiful duck paintings, my beautiful eagle paintings, painted by Ted Blaylock. If you don't know who that is, look him up. I'm selling. I got some paintings in my bathroom I'm selling. We need all the money we can get. I'm not asking for a handout. I'm willing to give up prized possessions for monetary gain to help with my wife and I's moving expenses. If you want to see them, shoot me a text or a DM or a message on Facebook. I'll send you pictures of them. If you haven't already seen them, they're very beautiful paintings. I'm letting them go for cheaper than they should be. I gave my 2 weeks notice in at work. It's bittersweet because I have put a lot of time and effort into working at Kohl's, even though I don't really care for it. Well, I like working with the people I work with. I don't like the customers so much, but y'all already know about that. Not going to go off on a tirade about all that. I'm going to miss Jacob for sure. I'm definitely going to miss David. He's our visual guy. He's an older guy. He's a character. There's two sides to him. There's the business side of David, the professional side, and then there's the man side. And you can tell David's a man's man. And I've got to see both sides, and I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss his wife, Miss Jennifer. She's a sweet lady. She keeps it real too. She ain't afraid to cuss somebody out. and tell it like it is. And I really respect that. I wish more people were like that, instead of just going on Facebook and bitching and complaining, instead of doing it to somebody's face. What else we got going for you? How long am I in on this? 20 minutes? Well, I don't really know what else to talk about. I really wanted to smash the whole Greg Wells thing. I just wanted to put that killer instinct on him, show him that I'm not playing with him, and to just end that once and for all. So as far as I'm concerned, this day forward, Greg and Wells is no longer in my vocabulary together. I've deleted him from my hard drive, from my memory, and I'm going to move on. My wife and I have picked out a name. I don't know if I've already told y'all this. My memory's bad. I've been blown up. I've been hit in the head a couple times. But we've picked a name. Caroline Ruth is going to be our baby's name. Caroline after Carolina, where my wife and I first met. And Ruth is my stepmom's middle name. And since all the kids are named after somebody, the only one not named after are my dad and my stepmom. So we're going to honor my stepmom. We're going to name our daughter Ruth after my stepmom. And if it was a boy, we were going to name it Jackson Dean. Dean is my dad's middle name. We're going to honor him that way. And just show, I wanted to show my appreciation in a way that'll never be forgotten. And that's how I can do it. And because I can never repay them for all the things they've done for me, all the shit they put up with when I grew up. I'm going to get my stepmom on here, and y'all going to hear some of these stories. And I used to be embarrassed by some of them, but now I'm a grown man, and I've realized we all have these stories. It's just nobody talks about. But I'm willing to put my pride aside for your entertainment value, and I think you're going to really enjoy some of these. Next time we go to Palestine, I'm gonna have a sit down with her and let her tell what it was like growing up with a young John Robert. I've been trying to get David back on because y'all, apparently y'all really liked all them illegal stories we were telling and snitching on ourselves. So I've been trying to get him on, but he's been working. He's been paying off his debts. He got in a little trouble a couple years ago, and he's straightening out now, and he's doing good. And I'm proud of him for that. But we just got to make a time for me and David to get back together. I'll get Dakota back on here. I'll try and interview. I'll try and get Bruce, but it's hard for me to interview Bruce. He tells me a lot of, and this is not a knock on him, but he tells me a lot of the same stories twice or three times, and I'd have to go back and listen to it, but he also uses some language that I really try to stay away from on the podcast. Just because I don't want anybody to be offended. Not that I really care if you get offended, but if I can avoid it, I will. My wife is she tells me I say too much, but I just don't want there to be dead space and dead air. Like I'm 20 episodes into this podcast thing, so I'm still getting the hang of it. There's new things I'm still learning, and I feel like I'm getting better at it. But I just don't want there to be any dead space, because I feel like when I listen to a podcast and there's dead space, it turns me off. Cooper's over there napping. He hasn't pooped in 48 hours, so I'm kind of concerned about him. I might give him a little coffee to see if that doesn't jumpstart him. I pooped. I had a bowl of noodles when I got off work last night, some ramen noodles. And I couldn't finish the whole bowl, so I gave him the rest of it. And it made me shit. I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning and had to take a shit. Or not 5, I'm sorry. I got up at 7 o'clock this morning and I had to take a big shit. So I don't know what's going on. If he's constipated, I don't know what it is. It could be he's just trying to see how long he can hold it. I don't know. I don't know if dogs think that way. What else is going on here? Just getting ready for the move, getting ready for the baby. I'm going to have to find a new job when we get to Tyler. Coles did not approve my transfer, which is fine by me. I don't really want to work there anymore anyway. I'm burned out on the people. Speaking of the people, I had a customer last night call me about 9:45ish, right before we closed, and she asked me what was our policy regarding Kohl's Cash, and I told her that, oh, my wife's walking through the door. I'm pointing my finger at her, telling her not to say nothing. I don't want y'all to interrupt this story because this is comedy gold. And it also drives home a point. A customer called me last night and says, "Hey, what's your policy on Kohl's Cash if it's expired?" I said, "Well, there's a 10-day grace period after the expiration date, but after that, it's lost, it's gone." And she said, "Oh, well, I dropped it in my car, and I just now found it, and it's a month expired." And I said, "Well, I'm sorry, but it's expired. It's past the 10-day grace period that we give you. Unfortunately, I'm sorry." And she says, "Oh, but come on, it's $50." I said, "I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. We're not issuing out Kohl's Cash, so I have no Kohl's Cash to reissue you." But and then she, I could tell she was about to get upset. So I said, "Well, here, let me put you on the phone with our manager." And I don't know what was said after that. I know the lady never came in. But I got to thinking, she told me it wasn't her fault that she lost the Kohl's Cash. And instantly, because I'm not a dummy, I got to thinking, if you dropped the Kohl's Cash in your car, but were too lazy to pick it up, and you just now found it, then it is your fault. So don't feed me that crap about how it's not your fault. You lost it in your car, and you just now found it. It's like these people don't use a turn signal. How hard is it to flip your blinker left or right, up or down, up or down? It's a flick of your finger. If you're too lazy to flick your finger, go kill yourself. Not literally, okay? There's a girl in Massachusetts or something. She's on trial now because the guy she was seeing or texting. Well, first off, it's a teenage girl, teenage boy. Teenage boy kills himself because the text messages say the girl told him to. Now, these two hadn't seen each other in a year. They live 50 miles apart. Obviously, they didn't want to see each other. Baby, when I lived at Shannon's and you lived here, how far would you drive on the weekends to come see me? Yeah. 150 miles. One way, every other weekend, my wife would drive because I didn't have a vehicle. Well, I had a vehicle, but it was a shitty van that I worked out of, and it couldn't have made the drive. But my wife drove. Now, this is before we were even dating. My wife would drive 150 miles one way every other weekend. Sometimes, for a good month, it was every weekend, wasn't it? Yeah. So if these idiots live 50 miles apart and they haven't seen each other for a year, only through text messaging, obviously they didn't want to see each other to begin with. So now the girl's on trial because she texted him to kill himself, and he did. I've lost faith in humanity as a whole. But anyway, I went back to back on Greg Wells. I knocked him out. I killed him, took his man card, stomped on it, pissed on his face while I was at it. He's no longer relevant. I'm going to sit here and talk to my wife, and then who knows what's going to happen after that. But thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking 30 minutes out of your day to come spend it with me and the Showtime staff and family. Let me know how I've been doing on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Go like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Anybody special y'all want to hear me interview or talk to, send me a text, phone call. I'm not hard to get hold of. Like I said, I'm probably the easiest person doing podcasts to get a hold of. So y'all just drop me a message, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.